I was surprised, I think, to see the story in the Press Herald from Ray Ruthier that you are retiring from stage shows.
Right.
What drove that decision for you?
Okay, so...
Other than the fact that you couldn't go on without me on television.
Well, here's the thing, Dan. I've been doing regular performances on stages around New England and, in fact, across America for 5.5 decades, okay? And I have that's a lot of years. And the way I look at it, so when I was performing when I was in my teens, regularly and getting paid for it, and I'm in my mid-70s, and I'm having a great time, and the audiences are coming and enjoying, and even the kids of the parents that played the audio cassettes in the Ford Country Squire station wagon now are bringing their kids. So there's a thing. But I said this to Ray, where is it written that if you're in the entertainment business, you have got to remain on stage until your grandchildren put you in a wheelchair and push you out in front of the mic and give you for the last show? And I don't think that is the case. I have had such a spectacular career doing Maine humor. I performed with some fantastic people in some wonderful places. And, you know, at this, let's face facts. I'm in my mid-70s. The decades are not stretching out ahead of me. You know, I am roughly the same life expectancy as my Cairn Terrier. And he's healthy. But the point is,
have you done the math on that?
Yeah, I have done the math. But the point is, I love my life. I have the great luxury. I don't have to perform in order to make a living. I have always done other things. You know, I've illustrated a dozen books. People don't know I'm an illustrator. I'm in a part of a show that's traveling for the last 2 years, the Illustration Institute on Presque Island. I'm part of a show with like Winslow Homer and all these wonderful Maine illustrators, and my cover art for my book Saturday Night at Moody's Diner is in that show. And I have lots, you know, I narrate audiobooks for people like Bob McCloskey and Stephen King and like that. So I have lots of stuff to do. I'm not jumping, you know,
so you're not
off a
retiring.
bridge.
You're
I'm
just
not
doing
retiring.
the stage performances.
But what I have been doing.
Did you say you're not jumping off a bridge?
Well, I wasn't thinking about it.
Please don't. Please don't. Like, I don't know how that came into the discussion. It was all fun, and it went very dark very quickly.
But the point of the matter is, the last show, the final Tim Sample live on stage, is actually going to be in June of 2025, so next coming June, because when I had booked the last show for this year was at November in Laconia, New Hampshire, and I told somebody, oh, I think I'll hang it up after that, and they said, your last show is in New Hampshire. I said, no, there's something wrong with that picture.
There's a lot wrong. Everything is wrong with that
But really, I just feel like that performing, like I think it's wonderful that Mick Jagger can leap around in tights and, you know.
Have you tried tights?
But No, but I'm not really thinking I want to see that often. It's good that he can do it. There's plenty of examples of people that kind of just push on past their sell-by date, and I don't want to do that. I'm having a lot of fun right now. And that doesn't mean I won't do a television show or take a part in a film or there's all kinds of things to do. Why not? Is there anything wrong with saying, I'm having a great time. If you're having a great time, let's call it 50 years and say, let's do it something else.
I think that's totally fine. And I think you're exactly right. And I think about this in the realm of TV shows, leave them wanting more. So Seinfeld went off and everybody said, why are they going off at the top of their game? And now they still watch it. It's still one of the most popular shows on Netflix.
And one of the things, and it's interesting you talk about leave them wanting more. Many people here and watching at home will remember Marshall Dodge. And Marshall Dodge was, along with Bob Bryant, Marshall and Bob Bryan in 1957, I was 6 years old, so they didn't ask me to participate in that project, did a series of recordings called the Bert and I Records. And I had the great good fortune to meet up with Marshall, work with Bob Bryan. I did multiple recordings for the Bert and I Company. But Marshall, who died tragically at the age of 45, he died very young, but he was a brilliant master of the monologuist art and the storyteller's art. And he told me, I was 30 years old and he was 45 when we were working together. And Marshall said, Tim, remember this, never forget the old-fashioned 7-ounce Coca-Cola bottles. I said, what are you talking about? He said, that's the most brilliant stroke of genius in American marketing history. I said, I don't follow. He said, I remember the little stubby Coke bottles, but I said, what's so brilliant about that? He said, they had about 1 ounce less Coke than you really wanted. And he said, a little while after getting one, you wanted to go buy another one.
Yeah,
he said, if you can have your career and manage your career in such a way that you leave them with about 1 ounce left than they really wanted, they'll always come back. And I kind of hear the echoes of Marshall when I'm thinking, this is where I am today.
Yeah.